Fancy a look at the list, do you? Anything catch your eye? Seen enough?
Heard the bad news then, did you?
What bad news?
About Dravost. Blackthorn's old haunt. With the forge and all that. Well, anyway, the mines just down the road from there are spewing at Aoife like no one's business.
And the village?
Safe from the flood for now, but they've got other problems. Akashic. Every creature in the area is either turned, Zoltan and the others are living on borrowed time. They need help, and quick. Doris sent a few curse breakers to keep an eye on things, but there's only so much a couple of scouts can do. Except get eaten. If something ain't done soon, the whole place will be overrun.
I won't let that happen.
Didn't think you would.
Does Blackthorn know?
I thought it might be better if he didn't. He'd only do something stupid. You reckon we should tell him?
No. It's better this way.
Yeah, well, I can't stand about knowing what's happening out there, so I'm off. I'll see you in Dravost.
How was she? The Enterprise, eh?
Ah, Sid. Just the man I was hoping to see. Did you have a mo?
Don't tell me. You need more bomb ash.
Oh, no. We still got plenty of that left. I'm working on bringing another one of the Chief's designs to life. This time, it's a new smelter. It's got a reverberatory hood over the top for additional thermo amplification and a system of reciprocal recirculatory regenerators that let's just say it gets very blimmin' hot. A heck of a lot hotter than anything Blackthorn's got in his forge, that's for certain. Only mithril engines get hotter, and you can't chuck ore in one of them and get metal out the other end. Trouble is, we won't be able to make out of any old rubbish neither. We need the good stuff. And I hear you once helped Helena get her hands on exactly that. Any chance you could help me too?
If it's for the good of the hideaway, I'd be happy to.
Oh, it is.
So, what exactly is this good...
We've got a couple of examples here. Spherical echoes
More fallen materials. So this smelter is similar to the mithril engine in more ways than one.
That's right. They're a bit like the thermal helms. Fallen ceramics deal with heat like... And what's more, they're directional. Transferring heat from the inside to the outside. But these things, we've collected as many as we can. And I know where we can get the rest. Trouble is...
So you want me to visit some ruins, destroy some echoes, and bring back the spheres they're guarding?
That's it in a nutshell, yeah. We're only 3 short, mind. And we know exactly where they are. There's one up Amber Way, in that ruin that they call Lost Plume, and another in the Silent South, over in Dalmekia. Last one is in the ruins of Advent, which is in the Empire.
All right then. Wish me luck.
It'll do. I'll be keeping all my fingers and toes crossed.
Miss, can we read Miss Editor's story for our lesson today?
Come
utter loss. It can't be true.
Have you tried Molly's lemon tarts?
Sanctfordian, dear. Not bad, if I do say so myself. Anything else?
Who's awfully thin these days.
There's no way of knowing if Doris will confide in me, but I can speak to her at least.
Come back. Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot of them.
Where are you?
Can I help you, Sid?
I'm looking for Doris. Is she here?
I'm afraid not. She's at Martha's Rest on a job. My job, actually. When she heard what the mission was, she insisted on going hers.
Did she? What was the mission?
Following up on some... Once they'd settled in, the bearers you helped liberate in the Dragon's Eyrie were keen to talk about their imprisonment.
The slaver Cole's team were tracking when they were attacked by the Beastmen. I'll go and find her. She's at Martha's Rest, you say?
If she's not moved on already, yes. I hope everything's all right.
Why would Doris insist on going alone? Maybe Cole was right to be worried. Doris should be somewhere nearby. Assuming she's still here.
Ah, Clive. I was just about to send. I'd like you to take something to Sir Wade up in Eastpool. Seeds for planting. Thought it was about time they started growing there. I'll keep providing them with whatever they need in the meantime, but if Eastpool's going to survive, it's got to be able to fend for itself, as have those poor bearers. They've lived their whole lives in servitude. Small wonder they ain't got the foggiest how to provide for themselves. And if you're wondering why you, well, the Wagoneer's taking supplies up that way. Sir Wade's putting a brave face on it. But I think even he's starting to worry. And if he's likely to...
All right.
Thanks. Wouldn't ask if I didn't have to. There. That should be enough to keep them in Gazal greens for a few...
Gazal green.
Not the most mouth-watering crop, I'll admit. But they're hardy. Better that than something that'll wither away at first. And chocobos love them too, which is no small thing. When I say all of us need to pull... They ain't exactly succulent, but cook 'em right and they're...
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, Sir Wade'll know what to do with them. I'll go up there and show him myself.
I'm sure you will.
I've got greens and all...
It doesn't still hurt, does it?
Oh, 1,000.
It's been a pleasure, Doris. Just like old times.
I'll give your offer some thought.
How goes the investigation?
Sid, what brings you to Martha's Rest?
You. I heard you were out here on your own, tracking our slaver. I trust you're being careful.
Of course. And it had to be me. The bearers from the Dragon's Eyrie confirmed that she's no fool. If we'd come in force, she would have spotted us straight away.
That was her just now, wasn't it? So, was it a fruitful reunion?
I'd say so. She tried to recruit me. Seems her time in Rosaria is coming to an end. She's abducted bearers from across the region and is looking after her brush with those beastmen on the road to Northreach. She hired herself an Imperial escort, which she wants me to... She's dangerous, Sid, but I think I can stop her.
Then I'm going with you. I'll take care of the escort. You can see the bearers to safety.
The Baum archers, soon to break camp. You go on ahead. I'll follow once I've sent word back.
Ah, Lord Rosfield, what brings you to Eastpool?
A delivery from
These are Gazal green seeds. Martha's keen to cut the apron strings, then, is she? I jest, of course. You see, I had thought we might be able to revive but they'd long since gone to seed. Only without the seeds.
Martha was hoping he might be able to show the bearers how to plant and tend so that they'll be able to fend for them.
That's not a bad... These bearers had only recently escaped their bonds. They know little of freedom, of providing for themselves and their... Unless we teach them how to live like free men, I fear that all we have achieved in bringing... Not that myself and the Guardians have been the best example to them so far, subsisting almost entirely... It's about time we all started to provide for ourselves. Unfortunately, we've been a little too busy of late to focus on much besides boast.
The Horde is closing in. They're coming, so wait, all of them.
Damn it all. I thought we'd have more time. Gather the men in the square. Send to the rest for reinforcement.
Yes, Sir Wade.
The Horde.
A Kashek, a veritable legion of them. They've been seen prowling around the northern reach. We don't have the numbers to hold back a swarm that size. I had hoped to build a perimeter wall.
Now you're out of time.
Precisely. If reinforcements from the rest arrive before they do...
What if you could call on reinforcements?
You mean the bearers? We brought them here so they might live, not die fighting for their lives.
So wait. You said you lack men to defend the village. Are the bearers not men, though they may not be trained soldiers like your guardians? What help they are able to offer could...
You're right, my lord. I will appeal to them. My friends, I humbly beg your aid. We Guardians are few and our enemies many. But I swear we can defeat them with you at our side.
You would send us to the slaughter, to serve as bait for those fiends so that you and your men might be spared. And to think we trusted you. Say what you will, a home is not worth dying for.
But it is worth fighting for. Sir Wade fights to give you lot a chance. Just like I do. Just like Sid does. We all wanted to give you a home where you could be free. And you got one, didn't you? This place, Eastpool. This is your village. Your home. And if you don't fight to protect what's yours, you'll lose it. You know I'm right. This world wants to take everything from you. Everything. Your homes, your freedom, your very lives. So then, are you going to stand by and let that happen to you? Are you going to accept fate like good little Bran did and die, having never stood up for yourselves? Or will you fight like free men and women?
What are you doing?
All right. Give me a sword. I never dreamt I'd have a home of my own. And now that I have, I don't want to lose it. I will protect what's mine, or die trying.
We all will. Free men and women, fighting together. For Eastpool! For Eastpool!
Thank you, Martha.
Don't mention it. Just promise me one thing. That you'll show them how freeborn fight.
Gladly.
Well, if it was numbers you were lacking, you certainly won't be now.
Thanks to you.
Me? Oh, I just love the sound of my own voice.
Lord Rosfield, my lady, we're ready.
So what's the plan of action?
We'll divide our forces into several small detachments, each made up of guardians, bearers, and guards from the rest. Upon engaging with the Akashic, each detachment will keep the creatures occupied.
You're going to lure them into the village.
I am. We will have neither the time nor the resources to treat the wounded, so injuries must be avoided at all costs. By coordinating our withdrawal through the use of messengers drawn from among the bearers, with luck, that point will be the village square. The perfect place for our and for you and I to finish them.
A sound plan, but one that'll require a leader with a cool... I'd say you have both in abundance, Sir Wade. But you'll be needed. Please, leave the last of the fighting.
Ha! And let you have all the glory.
Sir Wade! They're here!
Then you know what you must do. We work together. Everyone playing their part, each shielding the other that no man might fall. That Eastpool might live on. For Rosaria!
For Rosaria!
We've no time to argue, my lord. I'll do as you ask.
And I will do as you ask.
Suppose we'd better do our bit too then, eh?
Right you are, Martha.
The calm before the storm. it comes. Will not let this village fall.
All yours, Torgal. This one. Look out, Torgal! Attack! Get him! All yours, Torgal. Go for it! Bahamut! It's over! Now, Torgal! This one! All yours, Torgal! Get him!
Looks like that's the last of them.
Lord Rosfield! Change of plan!
What is it?
Owl from the rest. An Akashic curl's been sighted on Rhiannon's ride and is headed in their direction.
Well, the better half of her guard is here. So wait, how many Akashic remain in East Pool?
Hard to say. My men are still facing some resistance, but I think the worst. I could order a detachment or two to fall back and...
No. Let them finish the job. You stay here too, Sir Wade. Your men need you. I'll go after the curl. Join me only when East Pool is won.
If you're sure, my lord. May the Founder protect you.
Next one's mine. I might...
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia. Back to Eastpool.
Lord Rosfield, the Curl, is it?
It's dead.
Thank the Founder for that. And for you, my lord. We were able to eradicate the rest of the Horde. I have guardians posted around the village to keep watch for further attacks, but all seems quiet for now. I hesitate to say it, but I think it might be over.
I think it might.
We did it. We saved Eastpool. Thank you, my friends. Thank you.
No, Sir Wade. It's us who should be thanking you. You brought us together. Showed us what it means to fight for what you hold dear.
We never had nothing to call our own before. We didn't know what it meant to protect it, but now we do. We really do.
Forgive us, Sir Wade. You and your people saved us, and still we doubted you. But there's no doubt in my mind anymore. We're free men now, so we have to start acting like it. We have to fight to protect what's ours, to protect Eastpool.
And we shall. We all shall. Together. This is our home. And if anyone or anything tries to take it away,
they'll have us to answer to.
Come on then. Let's get to work.
This village isn't going to rebuild itself.
They're not slaves anymore.
no. They're Rosarian. Your father took pity on the bearer's plight, and I believe if he were still with us today...
I believe you might be right.
I shall remain here, my lord, and do what I can to help rebuild the... After all, this is my home now, too. And I could hardly call...
I think you'll find it's East Pudlian, sir. But you should be proud, all the same. I'll have to pull my weight, too. Can't have the rest getting outclassed. Speaking of which, I ought to be...
Can we continue to count on your support, Martha?
Of course. And I'd be counting on us Rosarians have got to stick together, haven't we?
Indeed we have.
And Clive, come by the Golden Stables when you get the chance. I ain't paid you for delivering them seeds yet.
All right.
Lord Rosfield, do you remember our very first clearing the goblins from the Stillwind Marsh?
How could I forget?
There's one sight that I shall never forget. You, facing off against that giant Morble. Not a trace of fear on your face. Since that day, there have been more than a few times when I felt when the odds seemed so stacked in the enemy's favor. I thought I may as well just lay down. But every time, I would think back to the look in your eyes that day and remember what it means to be a shield. Know that whatever trials Eastpool may face, I shall never lose courage.
So Wade, you have always been a true shield. I know that Eastpool, and indeed all of Rosaria, will be safe in your hands.
Thank you, my lord. I know the rest of the world will be safe in yours.
I'll do my best.
The hero return? It's lucky you came by when you did it. Not only did my seeds get delivered, but you went...
I just did what I could.
And it's only right that you take it before I change my mind.
Thank you, Martha.
So, Eastpool's finally back on its feet and a home to free bearers. Who'd have thought we'd see the
Well, it was your idea.
I know that, but I never stopped to think what it would mean. Bearers in charge of themselves, thinking for themselves. Though I suppose the rest ain't much different nowadays. You know, bearers living free like that reminds me of when I first met, loath as I am to recall that particular day.
I take it you didn't always see eye to eye. What happened?
Well, if you really want to know, I started doing what I do long before I met. In fact, that's how I met him. Or at least how he came. He showed up at the stables one day, asking questions about who'd been buying up. Founder knows what he thought I was doing with them. Running a hunt, poking around in their innards. Something awful anyway. Me, I thought he was a new constable. Thought the game was up. But somehow we both, and before I knew it, the cheeky arse was rattling on at me about how I was doing it all wrong. Told me I was giving them relief, but not freedom. That my bearers were still dying as slaves. Got right under my skin, it did. Told him if he didn't like it, he could bugger off. And do you know what he did? He smiled. And then he laughed. And then I did the same. We made a pact that day, that whenever one of us was in need...
And you were?
Well, we both wanted the same thing, just like your dad. Do you know I was born right around the time Elwyn became Archduke? He certainly didn't lack for ambition.
Indeed, but the loftier one's ambitions, the harder they are to achieve. Which is why those of us who follow in their footsteps need to finish what people like.
Suppose you're right. And if we don't manage it, there's always them who come after us. Good thing we've got a few half-decent sorts waiting in the wing. It's almost enough to give you a little bit of...
Just a little.
Anyway, enough nattering. Better get back to work. Let's see about making everyone some dinner, shall we? The least the folks who saved Eastpool deserve is a hot meal. And you and me ain't gonna save the world on...
That sounds like a wonderful... This is no time to ride. Let's go.
Yeah!
Time to fight. Good. They haven't broken camp yet. How did Doris come to know a slaver?
We've waited long enough. She's not coming. Ready the bearers.
Back to civilization, is it?
With all haste. Lest any of you lackwits start talking. I presume your men are ready. We've suffered too many delays as it is. Any more and I'll be docking your pay.
Yes, Mom.
Oh, but before you go, it appears we have company. Kill him.
You're welcome to try. So much for your escort.
You'll forgive me for not avenging my men. I surrender. Do with me as you wish, Sid the Out.
Sid!
Ah, Doris. I take it, I always wondered where you'd vanished, but casting your lot with this criminal...
Better fighting for a cause than killing for coin. I'm sorry, Sid. I should have told you sooner. This woman, my former master, once trained bearer children to be... She raised me like a daughter, and I did terrible things to earn her favor.
It wasn't all terrible. Surely, you were always so eager to learn, and had such clever hands. All my other children took it, but you proved yourself a master of... How about it, my little dagger? Care to swear that blade to...
I never swore my blade to you, nor will I ever. To liberate the bearers of this war. Farewell, master. Thank you for making me the weapon I am.
You always were a righteous child. Perhaps that's the reason I loved you so.
What do you want to do with her?
I am not the killer she wanted me to be. Not anymore, and she no longer has friends in high places. The Dame does, though. Her connections at the Imperial Court will...
All right. If you're certain.
I am. And thank you for everything.
And I should head back to the hideaway and put coals...
Welcome back, Sid. Doris's message just arrived. I hear you saved more bearers from being...
With any luck, they'll be joining us in the hideaway. Oh, and your letter. You don't need to worry about Doris.
I'd been hoping as much. She mentioned one or two things in her... So the slaver we'd been chasing all these months was her former master. Wish I'd known. She's been arrested, by the way, over in Sandbreak. Went quietly, and she won't be getting off lightly. The Empire may have no love for bearers. Can't have been easy for Doris.
I'm sure it wasn't. But don't worry. She'll be all right.
I hope so. Suppose you should know it. You had quite the past yourself before you came here. Anyway, thanks again, Sid. The Cursebreakers would be lost without Doris.
Keep up the good work, Cole. Ready, go? Damn it. The whole village is turned. Back to the stables, go. to deal with these ones first.
All yours, Torgal! All yours, Torgal!
Now to find this spherical echo. This is it.
Fly, Ambrosia. Over here!
Two down.
Everything's back the way it was.
Take that, you naughty...
Clive! To what do I owe the pledge?
I just wanted to see how the town's been faring
Since we brought all is absolutely wonderful. Conrad and Natalie's hands remain safely away from each other and firmly at the helm. Our stores are full, and the bandits still too disorganized to raid them. Just as the good Lady Jane and Lord Underhill intended.
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalamil, because of how he stopped all the grown-ups from fighting.
It's the mayor of Dalamil, dear child, and the vote hasn't taken place just yet. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to build a school so that menaces like you two learn not to interrupt your elders. Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the horizon.
May there indeed.
I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united front might have caught the bandits' attention. And they might have elected to take a similar approach. They have formed what one could call a League of Outlaws, and they grow more organized by the day.
But we'll fight them all off just like last time, no matter how many of them there are. Won't we, Lubor?
Of course we will. If we continue to work together, we can overcome any challenge. The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be. Until the only way to overcome it might be to run for the hill. Our best hope is to nip these efforts by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause. Perhaps a certain Lord Underhill might be willing to...
How could I refuse?
Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill you in on the particular. I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scouts.
I'll go and speak with him.
What's the difference between a lord and a mayor?
A League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition. Still in Dalamil, Victor?
Ah, Sid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnis by now.
I did. Then I came back. I've developed something of a fondness for it, and having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, it would seem remiss to abandon it to a sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't shy about exploiting.
You're not the only one.
What does he want you to do?
He asked for my aid in putting down the bandits, and he said that you might be able to help me find them.
Then you've come at just the right time. I was on my way to speak with Conrad about how to... There are more camps in the vicinity than we can safely strike at once. But we must strike together, and we must strike soon.
All right. Which camp shall I take?
There's one upriver. Just out there.
Leave it with me.
Those ne'er-do-wells went.
That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle.
That's him! The one who kills not and fingers! Take his head off! Over here! This one!
I'd better let Victor know.
Sid, where are you? Ah, I see the bandits didn't pose you.
No, but that's not why you're here, is it?
No. Something's happened. We need you back in Dallas.
What is it?
The whole town's in up. They're saying that Lubor is a bearer.
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits escape. Some of the children spotted him, and he was about... And when Lubor felled him, and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been hiding it all these years. If he has, well, I wouldn't blame him. No man is branded, but still. All those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life.
Fuck.
I don't know where we go from here, but I know one thing. Lubor needs all...
You're right.
And now everyone knows. I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an occasion. And when that occasion arose, well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
We're sorry, Lubor. We tried to keep running, but we just couldn't.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed playing the... All that matters to me is that you...
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing.
All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us, or...
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change them. We need to do something. And quickly. Convince the people not to let their prejudices blind them. Convince them that nothing has changed.
You're right. We should speak to everyone.
I'm glad you agree. I'll handle the I'm a Dalmec born and bred. They listened. You head to the tavern. Make Conrad and Natalie remember. They know that Lubor and I are friends. I might not make for the most impartial Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however.
I'll do what I can. Lubor, stay here with the children. I can't promise anything, but we'll try.
And that is all I can ask of you.
Why are you taking the bearers?
Why do they always have to make such a...
He knew all along that he was...
Forgive me for disturbing you, but... Could I have a moment of your...
I've seen your face...
As have I. Lord Underhill, wasn't it?
That's right. I wanted to speak to you about...
The rumors that he's a bearer. All true, I'm afraid.
He'll never be mayor now. Not if I have anything to do.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued. In this, at least, he's done the town a service. Might that not earn him a little lenience?
Leniency? He pretended to be one of us when he was...
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to us. He lied to you. He cannot be trusted.
So what do you propose? Will you drive him from his home?
Perhaps. That is a question for the people of Dalimil, and they will thank you not to get involved.
The townsfolk have made their minds up. There was nothing I could do.
Nor I. Conrad and Natalie refused to consider anything.
You never know. Once their anger is cooled, they might see things different.
All right.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearer's side?
For a share in...
I assume the situation is hope.
There's still hope.
But perhaps not in this lifetime.
You mustn't think like that, Lubor. Give them time. We'll talk some sense into them in the end.
No, you won't. And your efforts would be better spent elsewhere.
But Lubor...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie. That a blade is a reflection of the yourself be true. That was her point. Rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with the blade of her own. But I do not doubt that she was always true to herself and what she believed in, and so must I be. I must do what I know to be right. And now, I know what that is. I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people of Dalimil have... For only united can they hope to stand against the threat. I'll need to make a suitably dramatic exit.
Don't go, Lubor. You're the only one who has ever will be all alone. Again.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go. Not only for the town.
How could it possibly be for the best? These children need you. The least you can do is give the townspeople a chance to change.
They would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this town? I thought you were better than this, but it seems you had me fooled as well.
Victor.
Forget it. Do what you will.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor? Of those available to me, I believe it's the best one. Ah, but where are my manners? Here. A reward for Clip. Right then. I have packing to do.
If there's anything I can do.
And I'll bear it in mind. Thank you.
So Dravost is still standing. For now, at least.
If you can swing a hammer...
Clive! You're here!
And the Akashic?
Mostly off to the north still. But I spoke to Doris's scouts and it turns out things are worse now. Told old Snotty to be ready to seal the north gate. That should buy us some time, enough for the villagers to barricade themselves inside there.
Well done.
Welcome back. I'd never have guessed, you know. Not if August hadn't let slip. Who'd have thought that the savior of Dravost would turn keen to help us out again?
I am.
Thought you could sneak off without me, did ya?
Blackthorn.
Oh, what are you doing here?
One of the scouts couldn't keep his voice down, unlike my best mate who didn't think I deserved to know. So then, how long's it been? Long enough for us two to turn into a pair of oak.
That your idea of an apology?
Don't listen to him. You only did what you thought was best.
But that ain't the whole of it. Vulcan, our master, he left it to me. The best blacksmith in Dravost, barring himself, of course. Bloody stupid tradition it might be. If someone's got talent, you should let them practice their craft, not ask them to say, our master wasted half his life that way. I wasn't about to let that happen to me.
So you wasted half of mine instead?
You're what Dravost needed. Under me and my precious ideals, this place wouldn't have lasted a year. So I left to devote my... I may be a selfish prick, but I only did what I felt...
What you had to do was your duty!
Even if it meant we all starved?
Enough. This is no time for bickering. You can finish beating each other up once Dravost is safe.
Fine. I've said my piece anyway.
Yeah. So have I.
Sorry, Clive. I shouldn't have stuck my nose short enough on time as it is. Still, give us a mo, would you? I need to get my head straight before... You,
We can't afford to waste...
Right you are. Might be worth having one last word with the scouts, though. Don't want any nasty surprises, do we? Oh, and... Blackthorn?
Akashic on the move.
How close are they?
Within sight of the walls. And there are more coming up.
What was I saying about nasty?
They'll wash right over us if we stay out in the open.
Good idea. Get yourselves inside, but keep you...
Understood.
I'm prepared to fight if I have to.
Well, let's hope you don't. That's our job. Once the scouts are inside, order your men to barricade the gate. No heroic last stands, you hear me? No fighting at all if you can help it.
August's right. I've seen what Akashic beat. The people here are tough and willing, but they ain't equipped.
I'm going out there. Start work on the gate as soon as I've left. I'll give you as much time as...
And if they kill you?
You evacuate, but it won't come to that. I promise. You take good care of Dravost till I get back.
Leave it to me. And give those things what for, yeah?
All right. Which one of you Who's first?
Too slow. Torgal, kill! All yours, Torgal. Get him. Now, Torgal! To me, Flames! This one. All yours, Torgal. Now, Torgal! So well. Attack! Torgal, kill! This one. Let there be light! Yours, Torgal! Attack! This one! Now, Torgal! You're a fine hound. Too slow. Torgal, kill! Yes. Now, Torgal! Is that it? Apparently not. You're not getting past me.
No, the question is, did I miss any?
Man alive! You're still in one...
I slew as many as...
As many as I could, he says. The old bleeding lot, more like...
Only almost.
Yeah, one or two did try to sneak over the wall.
Good. Oh, you do know?
In time, yeah. But we can think about them later.
Sid! You're even more fearsome than your reputation. Enough to give those Akashic monsters nightmares. But mostly, I felt great.
I'm afraid I've only delayed the inevitable. There's no getting rid of that ether flood, meaning that any living thing which stumbles into those mines will end up clawing at your walls again.
And that's if the flood don't spread. If it does, I hate to say it, but the village's days are numbered.
That may be, but we're staying. Just with ether floods springing up all over, it's no less safe than anywhere, and more importantly, we'll fortify the gates to the north, and I'll see that they're guarded day and night.
All right. Then we'll give you a hand shoring up those defenses.
As for you, Blackthorn, that's twice you've turned up when Dravoj needed you, so...
I shouldn't have stayed away so long. And I shouldn't have left with it.
Too bloody right you shouldn't. Though I doubt I'd have listened. I always envied you. How you made everything look so easy when you leaving gave me the perfect excuse to hate you. And from that day on, I never once stopped to wonder what it would have been like if you'd stayed. But you'd have been the death of this place.
Finally. Something we can agree on. I hope you see the sense of it eventually. You kept this place alive.
Alive, perhaps. Wealthy even, but... Dravoj isn't... Our work used to be the pride of Dalmek. Now, we churn out the same rubbish day up. It's not about the craft anymore. I wouldn't send my sons to war wearing the shit most of our smiths are. I've kept working, honing my skills, trying to lead by example, but the average castle apprentice has as much passion for the craft as our current lot. Come back to us, Blackthorn. Remind Dravoj. I'll even man those bellows of yours if it means we can work at the same fort.
That's a kind offer. Kinder than I deserve. There's people who trust their lives to my steel, and I daren't let them down. But that doesn't mean I couldn't visit from time to time. Let's see if we can't rekindle this town's passion for the craft, shall we?
I'd like that.
Just be sure to tell Snotty to let me in the next time I come call.
Knowing him, he'd let you in anyway. Blackthorn. I never thought I'd see the day.
I'd say that went pretty well, wouldn't you?
Even better than I'd hoped.
Sid, I've got something for you.
And this is?
A token of our lasting, but I'm of a mind to make you a designs for a certain sword have been passed down from...
Now hold on, Zolt. There's a reason no one's made that blade in centuries. There's not been a cross. I'll admit your cinders make impressive steel. And I've learned to hone an edge. Oh, but the engravings on that thing are it. And they're not just for show.
Have you forgotten what brought you back to Dravoj in the first place? I knew I'd never surpass you with the hammer and tongs. Between the two of us, I'd say we're the equal of any.
You know what? Clive, you wouldn't mind if Zoltan came back to the...
He's more than welcome, as long as he can keep our secret.
Right. Zoltan, get your tools.
Come back.
Oh, don't tell me we've run out of happy nuts and all.
The man himself.
We were just about to make a start on that sword.
It's funny, but none of... You remember Camille? We'll be using his leatherwork. The steel, meanwhile, will be tempered in a fire, burning the... And that wet stone from the Outer Isles, that'll be what gives... And the final flourish will be my talented colleagues.
A team effort, led by the greatest...
Now, save that talk till the thing's finished. Right. I'm ready if you...
To the bellows it is, then.
Well, bugger me. We actually did it.
The sword to end all swords. Ragnarok.
It's... quite...
I, trust you.
Thank you.
So, does this make you pair the...
This? Nah. It'll take more than that to earn us our place, but we're up for the challenge.
A list of materials.
Zoltan and I got talking on the...
We reckon with those items there, we could craft something...
That's a weapon I'd like to see.
I was hoping you'd say that.
One legend at a time, eh, lads? Before you start on the next.
Good idea. No more drinking to forget my past. It's about time I had something to say.
Then tap the kegs! Vulcan's boys are...
Trouble with your gear, or... I never fought me and Zolt, and if it hadn't been for you, we wouldn't. You've been a good... What do you want? That it? Fine.
Ready, go?
Don't get surrounded. That's all of them. Owain can uncross his toes now.
Covered in nicks and lumps. So, she don't need safe.
How was she?
With Canva in the hands of a cash.
Ah, Sid. So?
Good, thankfully.
Ah, that's brilliant. I'll fit him to the smelter. May I present the Telemon Furnace?
She's a beauty.
You saved my beacon again, Sid, and I ain't about to let your...
It's fine, really. My bags.
Oh, don't say that. I'm sure I can make a few...
You could just buy me it.
How about that clasp? Looks a bit stiff. Reckon you... And I reckon I know how. With a new alloy we've been working on. It's a metal, see? So it's lovely and strong.
Stretchy metal.
That is the spirit. You'll love it. So?
It's... Thank you, Owain.
Shh. Don't mention it. And I wanted to get some practice in using that metal anyway. Can't think of any right now, but that's our job. Maybe even out there, too. One day, the whole world's gonna know about the inventions you've helped us put together.
They'll hardly believe their eyes, I'm sure.
There were ghosts at the gates, not Daisy.
Those things I said before.
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a...
What's happened?
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne.
The High Cardinal?
Leader of the Council of Elders. Second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperium. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold. A foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants.
with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his...
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men. A man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve, and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel, and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke offers them a vision of strength and safety. No. Any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support of his men. If it did not cost him his... But given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be unavoidable. The people have little appetite for
Who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke on my behalf for your services to Northreach? You have the respect of the soldiers, and they will take you to His Eminence if you ask them. And unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from speaking your mind. Well, will you try? You could hardly fare any...
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right. Wish me luck. I may have met this Duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
Halt! Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke. I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass, but you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you, and wait here. I'll go and ask.
So, you are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison, and I shall see it repay. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek, or
Neither, Your Eminence. I thought only to inquire...
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your yet you needn't be. A proud fighting pride of place, in fact. For too long has the but no more. For it is they who shall see the whole...
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed, which is more than can be said for Oriflamme. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach, with Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to thee, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would... Plans are already underway for soon enough. These thralls shall learn that they...
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense...
The people will do as their leaders... If Sanbreque is to be rebuilt, she will require a functioning one whose authority is... That is why this levy is... So that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed... And yet there are those who persist in
I suspect they're afraid of losing.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even... You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salty...
Sabine, we have
Yes, and I told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
Do not take her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. A citizen's revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose. Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
All right there. What is it you're after, sir?
Just your opinion, actually. I wondered what you thought of the Duke of Orif.
Oh, him. Not much. None of us traders. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer. And now he's trying to drive us out completely. Threatening to take everything we got from us. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'll be straight through that checkpoint.
I heard the dame got an icon to rid the man out.
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
Don't get me started. You build a life for yourself somewhere, only for some noble to turn up and tell you you've got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude awakening. We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Why, your stall is as ripe.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain Duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame. This is her town, not his.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers?
You needn't fret. The creatures have been dealt with.
Those things I said before.
Excuse me, do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in the way he did. I mean, look around us. You can see the state the realm's in. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire's the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
You.
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted, but it seems my words fell on deaf ears. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way round. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame, but I've got a family to look after. That's where my loyalties lie, not with the town or the Empire, but with my wife and children. If the Duke can get us the men and the equipment we need to fight off those blue-skinned bastards, I don't care how he does it.
I left everything.
As long as you remain, the veil will...
Sabine, you are embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing yourself.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word. Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs. Once Sanbreque is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this. Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Certainly. Clive, wasn't it? Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey...
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved. The Dame included.
That's right.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. I know what I need to do now. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Doesn't matter how. Well, duty calls, so I better go. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that, if nothing else.
Ah, Clive. How did you fare? Were you able to speak with the...
I was, but...
So Northreach is to be a fortress. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls. There's no denying. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confident. They deserve to be heard, Clive. To have a say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be sacrificed for the greater good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destinies were in your hands. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders. And not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sanbreque, I dare say I too would want nothing more than to see it rise from the ashes. Thank you for trying. But the battle is lost.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
I handed it in, along with my resignation. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call...
Why?
Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake of it. Protecting Northreach. I honestly don't know when those monsters will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together. And with you to lead us, milady, I reckon we can do it. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go against everything.
Indeed.
All of us, standing, that has always been Northreach's best hope. And one which still lies within us. We have only to turn our attentions to the true enemy. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I must do.
Anything for you, milady. Speaking of standing together, would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from... I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks in mind for the...
Not at all. Be my guest.
Wouldn't be the first time.
There may be hope for Northreach yet. Especially with men like you and Philippe to champion our cause. I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke, in the stubborn belief that I might still tempt him into joining hands. But I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again. Until then, Clive.
Until then.
To the gate.
Ah, Clive. You'll be pleased to know that the
That is good news.
Yes. Our comrade in Randala has just... But I still have much and more to prepare. It's a huge undertaking. You couldn't do me a quick favor, could...
What is it this time? More wild beasts?
Nothing like that. I just need you to go over to the caravans and ask Elle how long we... Find out exactly how much faster I need to...
All right.
Thanks, Clive. I owe you one.
Don't blame yourself, Elle. This is their fault, not yours.
I know, but...
No buts about it, all right?
Is something wrong?
Vonnie came to give me a message from our intermediary. The talks with the Republican army have fallen through. They've reached an agreement with the Silver Peak Consortium instead. Though prices have fallen of late, we deliberately offered above the going rate to try and deter other bidders. But the Consortium offered double what we did, and the army jumped at the chance.
And you had no opportunity to make a counteroffer?
None at all. And we were so close.
Elle? What's happened? I saw Vonnie leaving. She didn't look happy.
And with good reason.
But I thought we were the only ones the Fist was speaking to about the bearers. How did the Consortium even find out about this?
It's not so surprising. They have ears all over the Republic. This isn't over. The Consortium will have to sell these bearers eventually, and at the price they paid, buyers will be few and far between. I'm going to Randalar myself.
Alone? You sure that's wise?
Are you offering to be my bodyguard? How kind. Meet me at the checkpoint near the capital gates. I'll send an owl ahead and request a meeting. You go to Cashlock, Theo, and get everything ready. We've waited far too long as it is. Even if I fail to free these bearers, there will be others. Someone needs to prepare the place and keep any prowling beasts at bay.
Oh, and that's me, is it? Well, it looks like I'm following orders till she gets back from meeting the Silver Peak Consortium, who've been doing their best to undermine our scheme. She'll never join them after this, surely. No, she said it herself. She means to stay with us then. I can't say I'm not...
You have to trust her.
You're right. It's what she wants. And if Elle's off fighting for the cause, I should do my... So I bid you farewell and safe travels, my friend. I'll gather my men and leave for Cashlock. We'll make sure the place is well stocked. You go to Randala and see if you can stop my sister biting the consortium's heads off. If she won't consider her prospect...
I'll do my best. All right. To Randala, then. I'd better not keep Eloise waiting.
What's happened?
I wouldn't give for a home.
Looks like this is the end of the road.
When are they gonna let us through?
Ready, go? All right. You deserve a rest. I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Did you arrange to speak with the consortium?
Here they are now.
You wish to consult with me?
I did. It's about the bearers you recently purchased. We had all but finished making arrangements to buy them.
You misunderstand. The consortium had an interest in purchase. It was only our regard for you that kept us from bidding. But your hesitancy in accepting our offer to you, and so we resumed our business.
I did not hesitate. I am simply not inclined to make such decisions. But what is done is done. Come then. How much do you want?
Alas, you are too late yet again. We rarely take on such unconventional merchandise without the bearers belong to him.
Who is your buyer?
A trader from across the water. A most demanding fellow, if it's any consolation. He insisted the bearers be fed, dressed, even given their own... That's what you get when you deal with continental types.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yes, the culture on the continent is... They pay good money for bearers not fit for the knacker's yard, and treat them like kings.
That does sound unusual. No matter then. If they've already left our shores, there's little that can be done. And with it, my interest in joining your...
My associates will be sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry you weren't able to save them.
As am I. But I only have myself to blame. He was right. Yes, the Silver Peak Consortium did intend to buy those. Their representative hinted at a possible purchase when he came. I feigned interest in joining them in the hope he might be encouraged to tell. As soon as he left, I sent my own offer to Randall.
So you never...
No. I entertained the Consortium's proposal. I was a fool to think they wouldn't find out. I knew exactly who I was dealing.
You tried.
I did. And if what he said was true, they deserved more. I wanted so badly to see them free.
Eloise! Eloise! Word from Cashlock. The village is under attack. A pack of beasts have come down from the mountains, and Theo and the others are trying to hold them off as best they can. They need help, and...
Theo!
I'll go on ahead.
Thank you, Clive. I'll gather some men and join you there. Just...
Hold on, Theo. I'm coming. To the stables, girl.
What's the situation?
Where's Theodore?
Upriver! He led the dragon that way to keep it from the village. But we just have to pray he makes it out in one...
I can do better than that. Torgal, with me. This is no time to ride. Creatures have already turned. Nice try. Any more time. I need to find Theodore before that dragon does. Looks like it's found me. This thing's turned as well. This isn't going to be easy. Clive? Theodore, you had me worried for... We have to get you out of here. I think it might be a little too late for that. Bearer or no, there's only so much ether a man can take, and that Drake just wouldn't let me leave. You have my thanks, Sid, for finishing what I could not. For keeping Elle's dream. Theodore! Don't make me do this.
Stop it, Theo! Stop!
Stay back, Eloise! He's turned. And so will you! Theodore. Take care of my sister. Theodore, wait. Goodbye, Elle.
Thank you, Clive. I think I'll be all right.
That was true bravery, Isha. His first instinct was always to protect people. To put others' well-being.
And now he's gone, because I sent him to that place.
It wasn't against his will. He was ready to do whatever it took to show you he could stand on his own. So that you would finally be...
To live my own life. He never could come to terms with...
What exactly happened? You once told me Theo was the first bearer you ever helped.
We grew up in Canva. We were born to one of the great, and I was chosen to inherit the family. I had my father's head for figures, you see. Theo did not. A late bloomer. In more ways than one. For unlike most bearers, it wasn't until his 15th summer my parents tried to drive him out of the house and into the cab before they could. I took him into mine.
Theo told me something else. He clearly admired your devotion to the cause of freedom, but he said you deserved a better life than this. Just as you freed him from his.
I would be lying if I said I had not wondered how much easier my life might have been if I had allowed Theo and devoted myself to the family. But I have never regretted. Being with my brother meant more to me than tradition or reputation. I only had to look at him to remind myself of that night, and the choice I made, and he was never a burden. How could he even think that? If anything, I was the one who weighed him down.
You weren't, Eloise. He said it himself, that he had always been grateful to you for saving, and that he wanted to repay you by letting you live the life you were denied. Neither you nor Theo weighed each other down. You loved one another. You did whatever was necessary to, and you always would have.
You're right. All I ever wanted, all I ever did, it was so we could be together. Oh, Theo. Why did you have to... I know Theo wanted me to move on, but I'm staying here. We can make a difference here. We can help people, save them. I need nothing more from... So I'll carry on doing what we do, bringing smiles to people's faces, just like... and to Theo's, wherever he is. This is the life I have chosen.
I've made a choice of my own, to continue helping you however I can.
Thank you, Clive. Let's go on together, then. For Theodore.
Lord Rosfield, is there aught the undying?
Perhaps. My brother said that you're... Have you learned anything of note since last we spoke?
Little and less, I regret to report.
I see.
Be assured, however, that we will not rest until the truth is known. Even now, our archaeologians scour ruins in every corner of the realm for traces of Ultima's touch.
Fallen ruins, I take it. Dating back as far as Phoenix Gate.
Indeed. Ultima's thralls are oft sighted among the remnants of the fallen civilization, as if protecting the secrets concealed within.
Secrets we'd see unearthed.
Should our methods be of interest, my lord, mayhap it would please you to observe some of our number at work.
Would that be possible?
Of course. A survey is being conducted not far from here. Perchance you are familiar with Kretov, a small hamlet built around a fallen airship. I was due to visit my colleagues there to collect their preliminary findings, but if you would consent to do so in my stead, I'm sure that they would be honored to relate any discoveries they have made to you directly.
All right. I'll go and meet with them.
They will be most gratified, I am sure. Might I suggest you take the road through Titan's Wake? It will lead you straight to the village after but a short walk.
Thank you. I will.
I wish you a safe journey, my lord. May the Firebird's flames burn ever in your heart.
A village built around an airship. Sounds like another lost wing. Oh no. You'll pay for this. There may still be survivors. Go, Torgal! Over here! Whatever that thing is, I'd say it's their leader. That's better. Nice try. Well done, Torgal. Should have stayed in the past. These must be Cyril's colleagues.
You have our thanks, stranger.
Who are you?
Ah, forgive me, my lord. I did not recognize you. You are Lord We are archaeologians, tasked with surveying this site. Thanks to them, and to you.
You call that a mercy? Your brothers might still be alive. Surely this survey wasn't worth dying for.
We are charged with uncovering a duty of the highest import.
And you think your dead brothers would agree with you?
I know they would. They gave their lives for the cause. Now, to what do we owe the honor of...
Cyril told me of your work here, and I agree to collect...
I see. That is most kind. May the Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart.
It's one thing to lay down your life for another, but for a survey... I suppose I'd better get this back to Cyril.
Ah, you are returned.
I collected your colleagues here.
My thanks. I shall study them, and inform you forthwith if I discover aught that might...
Cyril, your survey party suffered losses which could have been avoided. Had the others not chosen to complete... Were these your orders?
No. This was their. Every Undying devotes his life to the service of the Phoenix.
Even when death is avoidable.
My lord, I fear that this is not the Undying have served the Phoenix for countless generations. We live to serve the Phoenix. Our very...
Cyril, I know that you and your brethren answer, but allow me to offer you a word of advice. It does not further the cause of the Phoenix to have his loyal followers surrender. Provide your survey parties with an escort, that they might live to do. Think not only of how you can serve the Phoenix, but how Joshua would please. For all our sakes.
I thank you for your... If you will permit me to respond, our faith in his grace, and we of the Undying will do what we believe is right to full as first shield to the Phoenix. I am sure you understand.
I do.
Then we are of the same mind. And it is my hope.
Covered in nicks and lumps, the lot of them. Oh, I wasn't expecting you back, son. You earned this. Best of luck out there, Sid.
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better than I was.
But not nearly as well as you. Your cuts and burns may have healed, but your body still bears the burden.
And what would you have had me do? He was no ordinary foe, yet still it was not enough. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy.
Yeah. You underestimate.
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance that day, and that... I'm sorry, brother. That was... It's just... I have never felt so powerless. Perhaps the prince feels the same.
What is this place?
Don't move.
Here, it's fresh from the well. Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place. I set one on the river for her when she passed away.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand then, Ultima? No, not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me. I have nothing to...
I know, but I couldn't just leave you lying there. You're going then?
Of course. I'm healed. Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
Perhaps he can find an answer. You will be returning to Waloed soon, right?
I see no reason to wait.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few, but I doubt they'll stop you. You will take your medicine.
Of course, Lady Daya.
Set on leaving already, are you?
How long will it take us to get back to Ash?
Dunno, about the same amount of time it took us to get here. Maybe less, if your uncle can find someone trustworthy to patch up the Enterprise. All depends on where we're putting into port, mind.
Yes. It's not as if we can put ashore wherever we choose. We have to assume that the whole of Ash is hostile, and that we'll be attacked on sight.
Then we must find a place they won't think to look. And I have an idea who might know of one.
The Professor! I'll go and tell you come in.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about Ultima.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not be easy to come by in Ash.
Your brother's body won't take much more of this recklessness. You know that, don't you?
I do.